Introducing the all-new Corolla. Saipan cattle rancher Ernie Torres confirms that 10 head of cattle from Saipan arrived on Guam this morning.
9 of them will be bulls, males, and this one female, young heifer. And then we're looking at shipping 2 more containers immediately after that. The second shipment will be adult females. And the third shipment would be probably calves right around the 12 to 18 month age group, and we'll be shipping them in a modified 20-foot shipping container.
All 3 shipments combined will bring a total of 30 to 40 head of new cattle to Guam. And this new influx of cattle is sorely needed because Guam's cattle has been inbreeding for years, and new genes are needed to create more diversity in its gene pool. In the 80s and 90s, the Saipan government brought in some Santa Gertrudis cattle from the U.S. mainland, and since then, Torres has crossbred in some other cattle genes.
2008, I got certified in Texas to do artificial insemination, and I started the latter part of 2008 inseminating my cattle. And because we are out here in the hot and humid weather, out here in the Marianas, the best cattle that should thrive out here are cattle that are influenced with the Brahman genetics, the Brahma cattle.
Torres says that most of the semen he uses is red Brangus, which is a cross between Angus cow and Brahman bull. But he also uses black Brangus, Santa Gertrudis, Beefmaster, and others, or about 8 or 9 different types of bulls.
Several of the bulls that will be coming into Guam are right around between 3.5, 4.5 years old. So they're huge bulls, and they've proven themselves. They've actually bred most of our cows here, and the calves really look good.
He says the influx of these new, healthier bulls should make for better, more meatier cattle on Guam.
In the Sinamay, cattle are a lot bigger than cattle on Guam because Guam has been inbreeding cattle for the longest time. And that is because there's been no influx or import of new genetics, new bulls.
Ernie Torres says they had to get through a lot of red tape just to begin shipping these cattle to Guam. 6 months ago, Guam laws were changed through a bill introduced by Speaker Judy Wonpat, making things easier. But even then, there were still some things that the Department of Agriculture had yet to iron out.
There's a requirement that the animals be quarantined for 30 days, and the government still has no quarantine facility, so we have to build one at Chris's place, Chris Torres' place in Manila by the golf course, and that's the only way that it was possible for us to bring in these animals.
After the quarantine, Chris Torres will use the cattle on his ranch.
It'll be a lot easier to move animals between the Sinamay and Guam if we have a slaughterhouse, because if we have a slaughterhouse, we can just pick up the animal from the existing fence where it's at point of origin and bring it straight down to the slaughterhouse in Guam, and that'll be it. Slaughter the animal and process it. But right now, for breeding purposes, we've got to bring him in, clean him up, deworm him, and test the blood for tuberculosis, brucellosis, quarantine him, and it's a big hassle. But once we have a slaughterhouse down there, I think that it'll be something that's feasible that will actually serve the local community.
Another thing that Guam needs is a slaughterhouse. Torres says that Guam was supposed to build a multi-million-dollar slaughterhouse years ago, but for some reason, the deal fell through.